Wanted to do a video about aluminum boats. Had a couple people ask me questions about what kind of boat I got and the way I've got it set up. So my boat is it's an Alumacraft. It's a 1442, so it's 14 foot long and it's 42 inches across the bottom. So from this point to that side over there is 42 inches. If you got a 1548, it's 15 foot long and 48 inches across the bottom. I've had this boat for about 15 years. And when I first got it, it's just flat bottom John boat. You had a bench seat right here, and you had a bench seat right here, and the rest of it was open. So the first thing I did was I took a Sawzall and I cut this bench seat out, cut it out along here, all the way across there, and this whole area will be filled up with foam. So you just remove that foam, and I took some 1/8 inch aluminum and then some stainless steel hinges and made a box. I cut it in three spots, so you can be sitting in the middle here and open this up, or vice versa. I've got most of my tackle here on this side. This is just open, and I've got just some oddball random stuff on that side. Here's my running lights, which is also my pole for my camera. I mount my camera on that when I'm doing some video. So that's how that's set up. There's an actual deck underneath here that came with, that was on the boat when I first got it. So we put this deck in, and I've got storage underneath here. Keep my life vest in there, fire extinguisher, got a backup rain suit, got some tools and stuff here. And in the back, where I had this rear seat, I've set that up with my live well. So you can see, here's the old foam right here. So once again, I took a Sawzall, cut this out, and removed the foam, cut the foam out, and I bought it's just a plastic tub off of eBay. I don't remember the exact dimensions on it, but anyway, I kind of fit it to this bench seat. Put some expanded foam around it, sprayed it in there, and cut the fittings out for the bottom of my boat. I've got a aerator right here. Pump in, pump out, drain plug, and that's my live well. It works out pretty good. Does a really good job. It's in the back of the boat, so when you're running, the weight's in the back. Let's go to the back here. This was just open, so obviously I put a deck back here. I got my gas tank here. I've got my trolling motor battery here, and tucked back in here, you can't see it, but I've got a smaller 24 series battery just for my electronics. And I've got plumbing down here, bilge and all that. And you can close this up, and you got a decent little platform for the guy in the back. Works out pretty good. As far as my motor, this is a 93 Nissan 99 2-stroke. Just got stainless steel prop on it. Motor's been a really good motor, man. It really has. Got to change the plugs in a couple times a year. Gets pretty good fuel mileage. I've got a 3-gallon tank in this boat, and I can fish all over the place on cedar, and I typically go through like 1.5 gallons of gas. So that gas tank's plenty. I did have a 6-gallon tank in there, but I wasn't able to fit an extra battery, and I don't need a 6-gallon tank. It's just that's an extra 25 pounds in the boat. So let's look at my electronics. As far as electronics, I got a Gen 2 Touch 12 HDS, and then up front I've got a Gen 3 9 that I just got not too long ago. And I've got Ethernet to share mapping, and then I've got NEMA, the NEMA cables to share waypoints and all that. Here's my NEMA backbone right here. And I've also got the 0.1 antenna back here, which is really nice. Recommend it. It makes your waypoints a lot more user friendly. And this is just my toggle switch. This is a power off for the NEMA 2000 system because it is a battery powered system. So you need to have a switch for that. Let's see here. Okay, my trolling motor. This is a 55-pound thrush wireless trolling motor guide. It's got a wireless remote. You know, it's on off. And left and right. This thing is really super handy because if I want to sit in the back of the boat and eat lunch or retie, whatever, I can just put this remote in the back of the boat and I can control it from the back of the boat. Super handy. Now let's take a look at my trailer. My trailer's got a long tongue on it, which helps me walk out to my boat without getting wet. That longer tongue puts that boat out in the water a little bit further, so I'm able to launch by myself a lot easier without getting all wet. You can see, here's the nose of my boat. That tongue comes all the way out there. So a lot of times, I'll walk down. I put, grip tape on here so I can walk down the tongue and launch my boat by myself. As far as transducers, I've just got an HDI transducer off the trolling motor. It's got down imaging and traditional 2D sonar. And on the back of the boat, I have traditional 2D sonar, and then I've also got an LSS2, which has side scan, down scan, and that's it on that. And you can see I've got that's my pump out for my live well. Got my bilge outflow right here. Another thing that I've done with this boat is I've got a little switch box here that I set up. This is my main power right here. That's my battery check. And then I've got all my controls set up: navigation, bilge, aerator, and accessory. And I've got 12-volt jack right there, so I can run a spotlight, or when I'm doing my video, I've got this light pole that I set in right here, and then I'll take a power supply, run it from this 12-volt, and I can run it all the way back up and go up this light pole, and I've got my camera sitting right up here, so I got constant power supply. I don't have to worry about draining my batteries. And I also installed a fuse block. I don't know if you can see that or not, but probably can't. Anyway, there's a fuse block down there. So everything's ran to fuses, so if something goes out, I just look down there. Most of the time it's a blown fuse. It's kind of handy. So that's basically my setup on my boat. All of this deck is all 1/8" aluminum. It's all supported by got support beams across that are welded on both sides, and some of these beams I put in myself, which is different kind of braces and things. This floor is actually, it's a lot thinner aluminum. This floor is actually thinner aluminum, but what I've done is I put foam underneath in the ribs and laid this aluminum down. Same thing with the sides. This is thin aluminum. It's got foam in between the ribs. And then I just, you know, used self-tapping screws and screwed everything down and carpeted it. It's about due for a new carpet job, but you know, it's still functioning. There's no holes in it. It's a little bit wore out, but it gets washed quite a bit because I'm fishing out in the rain a lot. So that's my setup, man. This has been a really good boat. Alumacraft makes a pretty good boat. My next boat will be a 1548. If I was going to buy a boat, I would get a 1548, a little bit longer, a little bit wider, and I'd go with a Hawgz motor, like a 4-stroke. Get a little bit more out of those than the 2-strokes now. But this boat has been a great boat, so no complaints here. I recommend, if you're going to get an aluminum boat, get at least a 14-foot 42. 1442 is the smallest I would want to go. I can fish 2 people out of this, and it's still big enough to do what we need to do. But I wouldn't go any smaller than that. You just need a little bit bigger boat. They run a little faster. They got better pad when you get up on plane. So you know, 1548 or even a 1652 is where I'm going next when I do decide to get a new boat. Another thing I added to my trailer was the LED lights. They're a lot nicer. My other trailer had, well, my other lights were just the standard incandescent bulbs, and your trailer rattles around a lot. I kept breaking those bulbs. You know, probably once every couple months I was having to replace the bulbs. They end up, I don't know, they just shatter a lot easier. So I got these LED trailer lights. And they've done a really good job. They've been fine. No problems with them at all. They're, you know, LED lights are around $50, so they're about twice as expensive as the traditional trailer lights, but they're worth it. You know, you don't have to worry about them. They're not going to blow. They're not going to rattle. They're brighter at light. They draw less power off your battery. That's something to look into, though, folks. The LED is the deal. But anyway, thanks for watching the videos. I hope this helps if you're in the market for an aluminum boat. And if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box and subscribe to the page. Tell a friend, share it, you know. But thanks again.